On February 8, 2007, a 39-year-old woman was found unresponsive in a Florida hotel room. When paramedics arrived, she was already gone, her body limp, her skin pale. And her short, glamorous life abruptly ended. The news spread like wildfire. Anna Nicole Smith was dead. The world that had once adored her, and relentlessly mocked her, now stood in shock. But even after the headlines faded, questions never did. Because Anna Nicole Smith's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was the culmination of years of manipulation, heartbreak, addiction, and fame gone toxic. Nearly 2 decades later, Hollywood is still haunted by what happened in that seminal Hard Rock hotel room, and by the mystery of who, or what, truly destroyed her. Anna Nicole Smith was born Vicki Lynn Hogan in 1967, in the small, dusty town of Mahia, Texas. She grew up poor, raised mostly by her mother, working odd jobs to get by. Her childhood was turbulent, filled with instability, loneliness, and dreams that always seemed too big for her surroundings. At 17, she dropped out of high school and married a local cook named Billy Smith. They had a son, Daniel. But the marriage fell apart quickly. Desperate to escape small-town life, Anna moved to Houston. She started working at a fried chicken restaurant. Then as a dancer at a strip club. That's where everything changed. One night, a customer saw something special in her, a spark of old Hollywood glamour in a world of neon and smoke. Soon, she was modeling. And by 1992, the name Anna Nicole Smith was born. Her career exploded when Playboy took notice. She became Playmate of the Year in 1993. And her face, platinum hair, hourglass body, sultry eyes, was everywhere. Fashion houses like Guess made her the centerpiece of their campaigns. Overnight, she was being compared to Marilyn Monroe, a comparison she embraced fully. But behind that bombshell image was a fragile woman, searching for love, validation, and security, and she would pay dearly for it. In 1991, while still a dancer, Anna met J. Howard Marshall, an oil tycoon nearly 90 years old, more than 60 years her senior. He was besotted with her. She claimed he treated her with kindness and respect, things she'd rarely known in life. They married in 1994. And the tabloids went insane. Headlines mocked her relentlessly, the gold digger and the billionaire. Cameras followed her everywhere. People assumed she was after his money. But Anna always maintained she truly loved him, and that he loved her back. Just a year later, Marshall died at age 90, leaving Anna widowed, and instantly trapped in one of the longest, ugliest legal battles in Hollywood history. Marshall's family cut her out of his will completely, claiming she'd manipulated him for his fortune. Anna fought back, arguing he had promised her half his estate, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. For nearly a decade, she lived in and out of courtrooms, broke and humiliated, her every move broadcast for public ridicule. The once glamorous model was now a punchline on late-night TV. As the years passed, the pressure mounted. Anna's mental health began to crumble under the spotlight. Her weight fluctuated wildly. She became addicted to prescription drugs, painkillers, sedatives, antidepressants, anything to numb the chaos around her. Her reality show, The Anna Nicole Show, which aired from 2002 to 2004, turned her into both a pop culture phenomenon and a tragic spectacle. Viewers tuned in not out of admiration, but curiosity, to watch the former bombshell slur her words, stumble around her mansion, but live in a haze of confusion and sadness. Behind the scenes, her personal life was unraveling. She surrounded herself with enablers, lawyers, assistants, doctors, and friends who blurred the lines between loyalty and exploitation. One of them was Howard K. Stern, her lawyer and longtime companion, who many believed exerted disturbing control over her life. And yet, through all the chaos, there was one light in her world, her son, Daniel Smith. He was quiet, sweet, and protective of his mother. Anna often said Daniel was her reason for living. But in 2006, that reason was suddenly taken from her. In September 2006, Anna Nicole gave birth to a baby girl, Danielle Hope Marshall Stern, at a hospital in the Bahamas. 3 days later, her 20-year-old son Daniel came to visit his newborn sister. What should have been the happiest moment of Anna's life turned into her worst nightmare. On the morning of September 10, 2006, Daniel was found dead in Anna's hospital room, sitting in a chair, motionless. He had overdosed on a combination of methadone and antidepressants. Anna was inconsolable. Witnesses described her screams echoing through the hospital halls. She refused to let anyone take Daniel's body for hours, clutching him and begging him to wake up. After that, Anna was never the same. Her mental health completely deteriorated. She became paranoid, erratic, and heavily medicated. Friends said she spoke of seeing Daniel's ghost, that she believed he was trying to contact her. She began talking about dying, about wanting to be with him again. In the months that followed, Anna's newborn daughter, Danielle, became the center of another media storm, a paternity dispute that turned into tabloid gold. 3 men claimed to be the father: Howard K. Stern, Larry Burkhead, a former boyfriend, and Frederick Prinz von Anhalt, a German aristocrat. Each man accused the other of manipulation and lies. Meanwhile, Anna hid away in the Bahamas, living in isolation. She was under the influence of a cocktail of prescription drugs. And her world was controlled almost entirely by Stern, who was listed as Daniel's father on the birth certificate. Those close to her said she was barely coherent most days, her speech slurred, her mood swinging between laughter and despair. It was clear that she was spiraling towards something irreversible. In early February 2007, Anna checked into the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel Casino in Hollywood, Florida, with Stern and her bodyguard's wife, Tasma Breithaupt. She was reportedly suffering from flu-like symptoms and high fever, but refused to go to the hospital. Witnesses later said Anna was delirious, barely able to walk, and heavily medicated. She spent much of her final days in bed, surrounded by prescription bottles. On the afternoon of February 8, Breithaupt found her unresponsive in her hotel suite. She wasn't breathing. Paramedics rushed to the scene, performing CPR. But it was too late. At 2:49 p.m., Anna Nicole Smith was pronounced dead. When the news broke, the world went into shock, again. The official cause of death was listed as an accidental overdose, a lethal combination of at least 9 prescription medications, including chloral hydrate, the same sedative that killed Marilyn Monroe. But the story didn't end there. Questions immediately arose about how Anna had obtained those drugs, and who had been supplying them. Investigators found that several of her prescriptions were written under fake names. Her so-called friends and caretakers, including Howard K. Stern and 2 doctors, were later charged with illegally providing her drugs. Though they denied wrongdoing, many believed they had enabled her addiction and kept her medicated to maintain control over her. Stern, in particular, became the subject of intense scrutiny, accused of exploiting her grief, isolating her from others, and even having a hand in her downfall. Even more chillingly, some conspiracy theorists believed Anna's death was no accident at all, that someone in her inner circle wanted her silenced before she could reveal what really went on behind closed doors. After Anna's death, the world turned its attention to her daughter, Danielle. The paternity battle reached its peak, with DNA tests eventually confirming that photographer Larry Burkhead was the biological father. He took custody of Danielle and moved her away from the chaos that had consumed her mother's life. Howard K. Stern faded from public view, later saying he had loved Anna deeply and was devastated by her death. The charges against him were eventually dropped. But the public's suspicion never truly disappeared. As for the estate, the long, bitter legal battle over J. Howard Marshall's fortune, it dragged on for nearly 20 years, only finally ending in 2021. Anna never saw a cent. To many, Anna Nicole Smith was a modern-day Marilyn, both blonde, beautiful, and misunderstood. Both adored and exploited. Both dead far too young, under eerily similar circumstances. Anna herself had predicted the comparison. She idolized Marilyn to an almost spiritual degree, collecting her memorabilia, mimicking her poses, even living in some of the same locations. In one chilling interview, she said, if I could die in the same way Marilyn did, I would. And she did. Even her final photos, lying motionless on a gurney, her platinum hair fanned out, looked hauntingly like those of her idol. It was as if she had become the tragic figure she'd always admired, swallowed whole by the dream she chased. Hollywood has never truly reckoned with what it did to Anna Nicole Smith. She was mocked, ridiculed, and torn apart in the media, her every mistake magnified for entertainment. Tabloids turned her grief into headlines. Late-night hosts made her pain into punchlines.